driven by vital reforms in the state service, taxation, transportation services, education, health, and waste management. Lagos remains the economic hub of Nigeria more than 2 decades after it was replaced as the country's official capital. The state has been sustaining its relevance not just as a model of economic prosperity, but also as a template for strategic development and a benchmark for other states in the country. Welcome to Inside Lagos. I'm Adedoja. Salam Adeni.
Ẹni tí ò dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ẹni ò dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Mo ní pé bó o bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan. Àwa ni center of excellence. Àwọn òyìnbó débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Haúsá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Àwọn Ìgbò débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tá a jẹ́ ṣe. Àwa ni center of excellence. Gbogbo Yorùbá débẹ̀ wọ́n rí tí wọ́n mú lọ. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ẹni òde kò yìn ẹkù kan. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ lórí àwa. Àwa ni center of excellence. Ọ̀pọ̀ bá dé kò yìn ẹkù kan.
Lagos Appeals Project is one of the numerous social interventions by the Lagos State government and other relevant stakeholders in empowering farmers and other small-scale businesses in the state. At a media party held in Lagos, the Appeals Project reels out some of its achievements so far. We were there.
Lagos, the city of aquatic splendor, is not just Nigeria's economic powerhouse. It has been setting the pace in infrastructure development and human resources. From transportation to education, housing, health, security, and governance, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has been working assiduously to sustain the legacy of development by successive governments in the state. As one of Africa's fastest-growing cities, development is incomplete without food security. This is why the state has been investing massively in agriculture, and with its agricultural roadmap, Lagos is set to become a major food belt on the continent. One of the key areas through which the Lagos state government is paying attention to agricultural revolution is agro-processing, productivity enhancement, and livelihood improvement support, the Appeals Project. Appeals Project, a 6-year project which is expected to run between 2017 and 2023, is a World Bank-assisted project implemented through the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in 6 participating states of Cross River, Enugu, Kaduna, Kano, Kogi, and Lagos. Among the 6 participating states in Nigeria, Lagos Appeals, through Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture, has done a lot towards achieving the objective of the project, which is to enhance agricultural productivity of small and medium-scale farmers and improve value addition in poultry, aquaculture, and rice production. At a media party held in Lagos, the state project coordinator, Oluroti Sagoe Ovebo, reels out the state's achievement in enhancing agricultural productivity of small and medium-scale farmers. Today, Lagos Appeals Project has a lot of success stories to tell the world about how its intervention in the agricultural sector has impacted lives of thousands of farmers in the state.
With our governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, he has been wonderful, very supportive, and we have Dr. Amzat, the chairman of our state steering committee. He has been very supportive of us as well. We have 5 components in this project. Under aquaculture, we have fish farming, which is one of the things we're doing. And if you look at what we're doing in aquaculture, we're trying to bring in a new species and popularize it. And I think we have done a great job with tilapia farming in the state. If you go across Afowo in Badagry, you look at Ebute Afuye, you look at Ise, the water bodies, you will find quite a number of our cages there where we have supported a lot of people. But because we're technology based, it's not just about the numbers, it's about technology. Where was tilapia before appeals came on board? And where is tilapia today? In time past, most farmers ran away from tilapia farming. Why? Because tilapia is a sporadic spawner. It breeds all the time. And so there is always this population, it's population explosion, and then the fishes do not do well. So appeals came on board and introduced the all-male tilapia. With the all-male tilapia, we did not just do that supporting farmers in just any water body. We looked at the cage culture. We identified different water bodies in Lagos State, and we picked the ones that we knew would allow our fishes to thrive well. From very low output, you can see most farmers, even in 2 years, they couldn't achieve 500 grams. But under Appeals project, in 6 months, we had an average of over 1 kg in 6 months for tilapia. In fact, we had some that were about 2.2, 2.5 kg. We'll show you the pictures of that. For poultry, we have achieved a lot. Over time, most of our poultry farmers would only raise broilers when it's festive period. They don't like to raise broilers when it's off festive period because the market wasn't there. Now, under Appeals project, what we have promoted is to promote sustainability, doing business alliance. So what we do is we identify farmers, we identify an off-taker. And I'm glad that one off-taker is here, Easy Shop, Easy Cook. She would also tell of her success story and what she went through, her experience with the Appeals project. So what we do is we identify off-takers and the farmers. We align them together. Because when a farmer produces and there is no market, it is only a matter of time. That farmer is going to go out of business. So what we did was we supported our farmers with an improved technology. We don't just give farmers birds and feed. No, you have not done anything. You support them with something that can enhance what they're doing. So over time, our farmers are used to using mashed feed. The project has gone ahead to support with pelletized feed. When a bird takes a pellet of feed, you are sure that every nutrient is intact. And then we're also promoting probiotics also in the poultry industry. And then we have the nipple-fitted drinkers. With the nipple-fitted drinkers, it minimizes spillage of water on the floors, and then when you have water spilling on the floor, you have molds, bacteria, and all of that. And this brings about disease outbreak. It retards the growth of your birds, and at the end of the day, it has an impact on the birds itself. So we looked at what can we do to support our farmers in that line. If you look at rice as well, we have the rice. Over time, under rice value chain, we barely had 1.5 metric tons per hectare. But under Appeals project, with improved seeds, good agronomic practices, we are doing better. We're a lot better. But one of the areas that I like the most is the fact that Ofada rice today, if you look at what Appeals project has been able to do with Ofada rice, is amazing. Ofada rice before, when you are eating your Ofada rice, you see different colors inside, and then there are different varieties. But we partnered with IIT, African Rice, and with the partnership we had, we went to the field to identify the different rice fields. We went to different rice fields. We took rice from these different farmers, and we selected the one that is high yielding, because in all of everything we're doing, the yield must be something that must be increased. So we selected the different strains of rice, and we looked at the high yielding one, that when farmers plant, they can get value for what they're doing.
More than 3,900 farmers and SMEs have been empowered with improved technology and physical inputs directly, benefiting indirectly through job creation and infrastructure support. Vulnerable groups, including women and youths, are equally not left out of the Lagos State agricultural developmental equation. More than 1,700 women and youths have been empowered with startup supports to over 1,500 beneficiaries so far.
And the women and youth under this category are basically people who have passion for agriculture. At least they have minimum of secondary school education because they must be able to read and write. Now, under Mr. Governor Olushola Babajide Sanwo-Olu, he went a step further to support additional 86 people living with disability. You know, the mandate is for us to do 1,620 regular women and youth, and then to have 85 people living with disability. But because he believes that there is ability in disability, and he believes that they should be encouraged, he went ahead and said, do 1,786 in Lagos. So instead of having 1,700 in Lagos, we have 1,786, which is both the women and youth and then the people living with disability.
The agricultural value chain is not complete until farm produce get to the final consumer. To reduce some of the hindrances, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, through the Appeals Project, has commenced the construction and rehabilitation of 13.16 kilometers farm access roads in 4 locations across the state. The roads are expected to be delivered in July this year. The testimonies from beneficiaries of the Appeals Project are true testaments of how Lagos Appeals has impacted farmers in the state.
For you to get the right pH of water, to have a good production, you must have from between 6.5 and 7.2 pH of water. And that has been a great problem for us in Badagry. When Appeals came in, they looked into those problems, and we've been supported with water treatment tanks, brood stocks, and feeds. Formerly, what we've been experiencing, you can produce, maybe we can only boast of about some thousands of fishes. But now, I can tell you, in my own farm alone, I can boast of about 2 million pieces of fish per cycle. That is in 3 months. And that is the experience we've been having with other farmers.
A lot of us have now been able to come together. You know, we're working on our own before, but now with the intervention of Appeals and seeing the success that coming together can bring, we've now formed, you know, formidable groups. Our association is now stronger, more vibrant, and we are even on our own able to do so many things based on the trainings and the experience we've had with the Appeals project. And in the next 1 year, by the grace of God, Erikorodo and Ikorodu environs, you know, will be the hub of broiler production in West Africa. We are not looking at Lagos alone. We are looking at, you know, to start with West Africa. We want to ensure that in Lagos, we don't import frozen chicken anymore. We produce to international standards, and God willing, keeping all of us alive, will all be witnesses to this. We want to say a big thank you to Appeals for what they have done. You can see the passion. You know, it's not just about doing government work. You can see that there is so much knowledge and the desire to pass on this knowledge.
Before Appeals came, it was a rigorous process. And in my office, we had a lot of freezers, but we always had issues of supply, because we supply to hotels, we supply to individuals, and most of what we get are just the fake frozen chicken that just comes in from out of the country. But when Appeals came to our office and they, you know, they saw what we were doing, and they said they could help us to, you know, be better at what we were doing, the process was exhausting. I almost gave up, because I mean, the step by step, the training, the rigorous training, the business plan we had to write. But I later found out that they needed to be sure that we were in the business for the long term. It wasn't something that because government was going to help you with your business, you just come and take whatever they want to give you and go. They wanted to be sure that we had a proper business, we had proper structures in place. They wanted to be sure that we were serious about what we were doing. and that gave me hope at the end of the day, because we went through a lot of training, and that changed. They gave us a 15-ton cold room, and of course you can imagine how that accelerated in our work in the office, and we're able to supply companies, because companies order in tons, and then before appeals came, we were not able to deliver most of our orders, so we had to turn some down. And I'm so happy that you are able to put a team, professional team like this together. This is not the civil service that they say. I tell you, and it's not because of this camera, it's not the civil service that you expect. These are professionals to the core, and I'm so happy that it's Lagos, because I'm from Ekpe, so I'm very passionate about it. So thank you so much for this.
As the Appeals project is set to round off its activities by 2023, Oluranti Sagovebo speaks on the sustainability of the gains recorded by the program.
This project is a Ministry of Agriculture project, first and foremost. It is owned by the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture. And I know that the Ministry of Agriculture will always be relevant. So the legacies we're leaving behind, the ministry will continue. And I know that because we have done so well, the ministry will not let it die.
In 2020 alone, Appeals project contributed a value of 333.93 million naira to the state GDP by 924 farmers supported, which translates to 0.07%. So far, more than 12,300 jobs across all activities have also been created, reducing poverty by between 5 to 10%.
For a hustling and bustling city like Lagos, waste management can be a daunting task. In some areas, these drainage channels are clogged with plastic waste and other non-degradable materials, which hinder a free flow of wastewater through designated paths, diverting it to roads and passageways. However, an outfit under the Office of Drainage Services in the state, otherwise known as Emergency Flood Abatement Gangs, was re-established by the present administration to help contain this situation. And to complement their efforts, the Lagos State government, through the Ministry of Environment, purchased new maintenance equipment and vehicles to ensure a flood-free metropolis.
The launching of this new equipment we've just acquired is a consolidation of that winning strategy we have for Lagosians. And this meaning that this year's rain is going to be totally different from what we have had in the past.
What we are engaged on, that is what we are supposed to be cleaning, the drainages we are supposed to be cleaning, are collector drains. That does not preclude that we cannot do other ones that would benefit the state.
In the meantime, local governments and residents were asked to do more to clean the tertiary drains so that it can flow and discharge into the primary and secondary channels and prevent flooding in the state.
It's an ongoing process. We will never stop. We just have to keep doing things that will make Lagosians happy.
2 years ago, Nigeria was hit with a virus that put the whole world on its knees. It was a time filled with grief and loss, and Lagos was the epicenter in Nigeria. But the state was able to defy all the ugly predictions to stem the tides of the coronavirus. Let's take you down memory lane of the dangerous virus that refused to leave.
Coronavirus disease 2019, caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, known as SARS-CoV-2, is still a global pandemic. From the wild type that started from Wuhan, the virus has continued to mutate. When it found its way into Nigeria via Lagos through an Italian man called David, many thought it would end there. But Yaba Infectious Disease Hospital became a destination with numerous people.
If you do not have a need or a reason to leave your location, please stay at home.
Mr. Governor is in complete control of the entire structure, and the communication is moving back and forth at incredible speeds. Decisions are made almost instantaneously.
During my interview with the Index case, David was unhappy as Nigeria would always remember him on every 27th of February, being the date that the country recorded its first COVID-19 case through him.
It's a strange situation because I was famous in a foreign country because the first case I was also worried because I brought this virus in Nigeria, and for me it was a pity to arrive in Nigeria and bring this virus with me. And but I have only to give thanks to Nigeria, because Nigeria helped me, and every person was very, very kind, very good with me.
In March and April, streets were empty. Gathering became forbidden. Mode of dressing also changed with face masks. In trying to save others, many frontline and essential workers lost theirs. The world was confused. Denial for its existence led to more infections, more deaths, and more stress. With all this discomfort, all flattened in August 2020 until December 2022, when a second wave struck. This time it was brutal, with severe respiratory illness and the number of deaths climbed. At Yaba Isolation Center, many also lived to tell their stories.
I am quite impressed, and this space is free. And then I get here and there's a whole system that works. It's hard to run a shop like this, but it works. And this is Nigeria. I want to come back here and spend a day and clean the floors, because I didn't die.
Then the third and fourth waves witnessed different variants. Now, more than 5 million people have died worldwide since its emergence from Wuhan, China. Total COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is now more than 250,000, with over 3,000 deaths. Lagos, the epicenter, has a share of about 100,000 cases so far, with more than 700 deaths. Over 5,000 were treated, managed, and discharged from isolation centers. As experts get to know much more about the disease and how to treat it, the end still isn't in sight. December 2020, the Pfizer vaccine was introduced for emergency use, followed by Moderna vaccine and AstraZeneca. Now, more than 54% of the global population has had at least one vaccination. In Nigeria, more than 7 million people have been vaccinated, with Lagos recording over 800,000 vaccinations. As Omicron appears to cause less severe disease than Delta, its behavior has rekindled hope that it could be the start of a trend that eventually makes the virus milder, like a common cold.
If you reach Lagos, better life for Lagos, better hope for Lagos, oh. Better day for Lagos, yeah. Reach Lagos, better life for Lagos, better hope for Lagos, better day for Lagos, yeah. Better Lagos, oh, you, oh, so you, you want to speak Lagos, oh, you, oh, so you, you want to better Lagos, oh, you, oh, so you, you want to speak Lagos, oh, you, oh, so you, yeah, it's all you. It's not
And that's all we can take on this episode of Inside Lagos. Many thanks for being a part of it. Before we go, remember that Lagos is not just a land of opportunities, but it is a city for positive people like you. So keep believing in yourself as I do. I'm Adedoja Salam Adeni. See you next time. Thanks for being there.